And so, Mr. Norris, please take me back to last night's Odessa City Council meeting. You were in attendance, and tell me about it from your perspective.
So we'd heard rumors for the past several weeks that the council mayor and his clique of council members planned to terminate Michael Marrero and the city attorney, Natasha Brooks. That wasn't official. There were just rumors until we got the agenda at the end of last week. So we knew that we needed to show up and be able to show support for those people who've done a good job. You know, we knew that they'd just been evaluated in October, roughly 60 days ago. They'd got glowing evaluations. And then 60 days later, you have a new council, and they want to fire him. So we knew we needed to be there to advocate for good people, because good people are hard to come around. So we showed up last night, ready to speak. The current process is you fill out a card to speak, you put your name, you put the agenda item that you want to speak on. And last night I filled out personally 4 cards to speak on agenda item 1, which was the termination of the city attorney, and then 2, which was the replacement, and then 3, the termination of the city manager, and then 6, the non-agenda items, which is just a free speech talk. We handed it to the city secretary before the meeting ever started, and once the council started the meeting, came back from executive session, the normal standard operating procedure is you discuss an item, the council discusses it, and then you have public comment. The mayor totally disregarded that, and what we consider as an act of cowardice, just had the council vote. He disregarded the letters, the cards that were in, disregarded the vote of the council, of the citizens, and then decided to go to agenda item 2. And at that point, knowing and seeing clearly that he was going to disregard our ability to speak, we started from the audience raising the issue of whether he was going to deny our right to speak. And I think but for us continuing to raise that issue, he would have ramrodded that meeting and the process without giving the citizens the right to speak. And I wasn't the only person. As I began to become more vocal, other citizens like NAACP President Gene Collins mentioned that he put in a card to speak and he was being denied that right. And so that set up the comments for last night, because we have a mayor and a council that have no problem trampling people's rights. The Constitution gives us the right to redress our government. And the reason why we say this is an act of cowardice, or that the mayor's just a coward, point blank, is that I think the mayor knew that there were people there to support the people he planned to terminate. Terminate based on his petty grievances. They don't go along to get along. They tell him what the law is and what the city can or can't do, and he doesn't like that. This isn't he's not the king of Odessa, he's the mayor. And so when we showed up to support, he didn't want to hear the criticism from citizens, so he tried to deny our ability to speak. And instead of actually giving us I think he'll claim he gave us the ability to speak because he put it on item 6, which is non-agenda items. Under the law, and if they were running the meeting properly, item 6, we can't talk about agenda items because it's specifically for a non-agenda item. So once he railroaded us and railroaded the process through the first agenda items to terminate the city manager and the city attorney without giving us a right to speak, he put us on agenda item that we don't actually legally have a right to speak on those prior issues. And it's games, it's petty games, it's petty politics. And I think we have to hold the mayor accountable to let him know that he's not beholden to and held accountable to the extreme right wing of the Ector County Republican Party, a few of his crony friends that he's actually putting into office right now, and with the help of his council member clique. He's accountable to the citizens that elected him, and we are the citizens. And if he doesn't want to give us our voice, then either we need to take actions at the poll and we need to take actions in court. And that's what set us up for where we are right now.
Yes, sir. And so, Mr. Norris, now I'll ask you to elaborate on where we are now. You're taking actions now legally with this lawsuit.
Before last night, we were in the process of planning to file a lawsuit against the city based on the mayor's actions and the council's tacit approval of the mayor's actions in his official capacity, which violate the First Amendment Establishment Clause, the Fifth Amendment, and the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clauses. We don't want to go into detail right now because those will be argued out in our pleadings, but we needed a few things to happen, and based on the mayor doing what he did last night, which was not unexpected, that gives us certain grounds to move forward on with that suit. It just fell in our lap that the mayor decided to violate our rights last night for our ability to speak. What's interesting though about last night is that on the issues the mayor didn't want to allow us to talk on, he railroaded that process and didn't allow citizens to speak as those topics were up at the beginning of the meeting. But when we got to things like the sanctuary city and other things like that, he allowed citizens to speak on those topics as they came up. So now we have the mayor implementing two different standards for citizens in the exact same meeting. That further violates the equal protection because citizens have the same rights regardless of whether the mayor wants to hear the critique or not. And so I think he really handed us a gift last night by trying to deny our right to vote. Our right to speak. But more so, I think that's evidenced by the response of the audience, who were loud and raucous when we informed the mayor if he didn't allow us to speak that we would sue the city.
Yes, sir. And so you guys are suing the city because of you not being able to have the right to speak. It's not in regards to Mr. Marrero and Ms. Brooks being fired or taken from the position last night.
Well, I think it's all in one. We were going to speak on behalf of Natasha Brooks and Mr. Marrero to address the council and our concerns. That was denied. So that's a kind of an ancillary issue to our ability to actually address and redress our government. And that's separate and apart from the other things that we were already considering filing based on previous actions of the mayor, really throughout his tenure as mayor, but specifically things that he's done blatantly, openly in 2022.
Yes, sir. I'll ask you, I know still such early stages with this, what are you hoping is the outcome from this?
Well, we want to win. that's for sure. But most importantly, we want to make sure that we have a government that represents every citizen, every citizen's vote, that reflects the community that we're in. Local politics is not supposed to be divisive, but we have a mayor and council that are going out of their way to make local government divisive. So we want to make sure that we let them know that there are restraints on what they can and can't do. The mayor and his group of his clique of council members can't just run roughshod through the city without being held accountable and without regards. And that's what the lawsuits are set to do, to make sure that the checks and balances of the government between the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judiciary actually work. And let the mayor know, again, he's not king. He's Javier Hoven. He's not king of Odessa.
Yes, sir. And I know, like you said, with it being so legal, what, if you can share, what are the next steps now for you and your team?
After last night, we will be consulting with several groups, the NAACP, LULAC, other local individuals, and many have reached out to want to join in part of the lawsuit. Other attorneys have reached out who want to be a part, so we will likely have a stakeholders meeting and see who wants to join and frame our pleadings towards those and look to get litigation started very soon.
And I'll also ask you, have you had the chance to speak with Ms. Brooks or Mr. Marrero since last night's meeting?
I haven't. I will reach out to them. I hope they're doing well. We have a saying that says right has never wronged anybody, and we know that they were in the right. So I would advise them to seek counsel and probably look at what actions that they have. I have a very strong feeling, and we're looking into it, that I'm not sure that the council actually terminated them in the appropriate legal way. And that's what happens when you have people who just disregard the law. And it would be interesting to see whether they were fired in the correct way and what actions that they may have. And I'd encourage them to look at all of those.
Yes, sir. Mr. Norris, is there anything at all you want to add that I did not ask you about this?
If anyone is interested in looking to join our lawsuit, be a part of this, and we've had many citizens reach out to us today as a result. call my office. We'll see what we can do to get as many people on board. I think this council has not yet felt the voice of the people, and so this is an opportunity to do that. Both from a political perspective, to coalesce on what we can do politically to either make them feel our voice or remove them from office, or to join in our lawsuit. So I hope the city is ready. They fired the best attorney that they've had in a long time. So I hope they're ready, because this fight is coming. And I hope Javier Hoven, his crew, Denise Swanner, Mark Mata, and the new 2 council members that vote lockstep and are rubber stamps for the mayor, I hope they have the stomach for the fight, because this fight is coming.